Hello, my lovey. We are very lucky today to be joined by Ami Maikosky. She is here from soon to be windswept, Florida, on August 29th, a very fateful date. Many, many powerful hurricanes have made landfall. Of course, the one that is not near and dear to my heart, but certainly near in my heart is Katrina. That's where what prevented me from going back to Louisiana and opened up a whole new world. So always stay open to the disruptive changes. So
Amen.
Further ado, a disruptive changer. Ami, please tell us about you.
Absolutely, Melissa. Thank you so very much for inviting me into your space. I love disruption. Every space I walk into, that seems to be the nickname that gets assigned to me. I am absolutely elated to be here with you and to be able to share just a little bit more about me and what I do. I am a certified transformational facilitator. I do work with neuro-linguistics in our brain and allow people to understand the tools that they already have inside of their body to shift and redirect where they're at now, to draw them out of nasty stagnation and to allow them to embrace disruption through release and simplification and surrender from mediocrity. And that's simply what I do. And so I am just so excited to be here in this powerful space and to be able to discuss what it is that your audience could possibly love gold nugget wise for the things that I offer, for the amazing people that I'm able to work with and touch.
Awesome. I love it. And I love that you mentioned it's the resources we already have.
Yes.
You know, when you talk about neuro-linguistic programming, how we speak to ourselves, how we frame our reality, you know, which is as a coach, I listen and say, you know, does someone say, well, what I'm hearing or the way I see it, I'm like immediately, okay, you're a visual person, you're an auditory person, you know, we describe the world in the way that we're wired, and we can also reprogram ourselves.
So powerful.
By understanding how we communicate and what the words are that we use. And I understand that luckily for the world, you're putting together a fantastico program where you're going to be launching this wisdom out into the world. Tell me, what drove you to put this together?
Absolutely. So I have been in coaching for many, many years and have taught on the leadership side. I have been a top executive member of a couple of different companies, and in that kind of thrown into the space of management and teaching people how to work with their inner leadership. But the gifts that I was given very, very young was always a collector. People always gathered to me. And so in that, the attention that I was given by people because of the electric energy that is a part of the fibers of my being, I have had the opportunity to really take people and ask them very intriguing questions to reflect inward. And I found that through that power, that when I left corporate America, which I did 2 years ago, to embrace this exactly full time and to really make this passion-driven purpose of mine everything that I'm doing. So I have created a platform called Be True to Your Best You. And in that platform, I have ebooks and trainings and discussions and Facebook groups and all kinds of really neat things to ignite people from that are willing to look within and make where they're currently at something different, to be able to plug into their values and virtues and redirect them. And so I've taken all of my 25, 26 years of experience in those spaces and in coaching and taken what's in my head and my heart and finally put it on paper. So I'm making this legacy launch for a program called Stand in the Power of Re.
And we were talking about this. So tell me some more. So when you have like a revisit, a revival, you know, another try, another opportunity.
Amen.
And I think sometimes we can see that according to where we're coming from. You talked about looking inward, and people can be like, oh, wow, not this again. And if that can change to hello, you again.
Exactly. What am I going to do with it now?
Yes.
It's come full circle again do I really want to stay in the same place that I was before? I've gained wisdom and evidence from experiences that I
Mhm.
had. Now, what am I going to do with it? And so you're so right. So standing in the power of allows us to redefine resistance and embrace responsibility. Not the word responsibility, but the ability to respond in a
Oh my
different
gosh,
way.
you're speaking my love language because I am
Yes.
all about responding rather than reacting because
Amen.
my wiring was so fraught that
Yes.
decades there was no there couldn't what are you talking about? How can you like take a pause and sit with a situation that's setting me literally on fire and
Amen.
nervous system wise. And so
Absolutely.
to be able to get to the people who are ready to work with you, how does one, and it's the same thing for my coaching, any coaching, how does one get themselves ready in Amy Maikosky land?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the first question is, do you want to get outside of comfort and safety? Because just like you said, when something resurfaces and brings itself back to the present, there's a reason why. We have to learn something new from it. Unless we have mastered it, it won't resurface. And so, in that resurfacing, we have to almost check in with ourselves and ask ourselves, are we okay with just staying comfortable because it's what we know? Or
Hmm.
is it time for us to show up differently? Is it time? Are we willing to touch the uncomfortable? Are we willing to explore something different than what we already know to truly get a different result? But it does take work. And so looking inward and asking yourself, checking in with yourself is the first step. And if you're not there, then, there's millions of coaches out there. I welcome
Right.
lots of people into my space, but I'm very open with them and let them know that in order to step into this space to end up with a significantly different outcome, you've got to be ready. You've got to be willing. You've got to be in an expansive mode that you're trustworthy, that what you have within you is everything you need to know, and that you're willing to go into that deep dive and ask
Right.
yourself maybe some really hard questions to be able to see what a different outcome might be for you.
And one of the things that I love about coaching people and people changing and up leveling, and
Yes.
it's hilarious, sad, all the things about how these old devils will continue to battle us,
Yeah.
as we're up leveling, and like there's the saying, new level, new devil. But it's never a flippin' new devil. It's just like the old devil wearing some kind of a costume, maybe like a jaunty mask or chapeau, but
Right.
it's the same stuff, and we
Mhm.
reprogram the beautiful subconscious, and thank heavens we're able to do that.
Yes.
Yet
Neuroplasticity is beautiful.
yeah, when we're leveling up, we're just like, okay, yes, I'm ready, I'm going to invest the effort, I'm ready to face the discomfort, the pains, the all the things. And I have to say, like, leveling up doesn't have to be excruciating. However,
No.
it's unfamiliar because
Yes.
you literally are going to a different level. And so whenever we're in that unfamiliar zone, obviously our, cave brain, I call it, is going
Yeah.
to be shrieking because it wants the familiarity of what already was.
And that's what's so powerful. So, what we can do literally with releasing that thought process, that simplification takes away more than we realize of the difficulty of the process, because our ego does want to step in, our safety wants to step in,
Oh,
that
yes.
fight or flight wants to step in. And when we trust ourselves enough, because we're identifying that burning why within to get us to that next step of expansion, and we simply say, you know what, this doesn't serve us anymore. Nope, I got to let go of that string. Nah, let's let go of this. I want you to imagine a hot air balloon. And on a hot air balloon, they can put all the hot air that they want to in this magnificent balloon. But with the sandbags on it, doesn't go very far, it just kind of
Right.
drags along the ground. And so, only until we can release those things that no longer serve us, those beliefs, those expectations, those experiences, only until We can never let them go entirely because they're still going to be a part of who we are, but we cut the strings to let them be underneath us so that we can rise up and see a whole new view of amazingness in front of us. And without that release, that powerful surrender and simplification, it just won't happen. And so that's really the hardest part. And once we go into that, the next steps are really, really easy because it's that release that's the biggest hurdle for most people.
And I think that it's, especially in America, we are acquirers, we are collectors, we are consumers. I mean, our GDP is the local consumption of all the bullshittery that we bring into our homes and don as clothing and, you know, all this stuff. And so the idea of releasing, it can be very uncomfortable. And that, dear listener, I say, looking at the camera, that is why when you can work with someone who can guide you towards that, you know, and you find someone who's aligned with your energy. And that is why I have so many coaches on this show, is so I'm not for everybody. I damn well know that. And that's fine.
And I don't want to be.
Yeah, I got maybe an 80-20, 90-10 situation rolling because it's not everybody who's going to want to work with me. However, when you can find your person, you know, and it's just like with friendship, it's with romantic partners, it's with business partners, it's with coaching partners. When you find the people and you click with them and there's a shorthand, then pay attention to that and understand that that is the universe saying, heads up, this is someone that could help you.
Absolutely. And I think the power in that as well, as I welcome people into my space, I remind them that I would not invite you to something I haven't done myself, number one. And number two, I'm not here to drag you along.
No.
I am here to walk alongside you and help you in your own rediscovery and curiosity and creation and knowing what your personal truth is. This isn't about me. I don't have your answers. My job as a coach and facilitator is to ask you the right questions for us to go into your deep dive and rediscover elements of yourself that either you've never touched before or it's been a really, really long time. And we get to put a whole new frame around it so that you can shine on a whole new level of elevation and existence and expansion. And that's really everything that I'm about. It's not about me. It has nothing to do with me. I will share my stories with my clients. I will help them to know my humanness. I will let them know all of the face plants Amy has done to make them feel like, okay, I'm not alone.
No, please don't feel alone.
Yeah, it is absolutely just encouraging them to recommit courageously, intentionally, and powerfully to who they are, to relaunch this most audacious version of themselves with limitless expansion and the power and connection of now. What am I giving permission to in this very moment? Is it authentically lined with me showing up for me first?
Gorgeous.
And then when we're whole, our overflow and our ripple is so profound. Like you said, in relationships, in our professional platform, in our families, in how we show up in humanity, allow you to be whole first. And
that's gorgeous.
Let the ripple overflow.
That is beautiful. Well, obviously we have the very wonderful and talented Ami Maikosky here with us. So if you are interested in being in her program, Stand in the Power of that is coming up. And there will be more links in the show notes as always. So you can get in touch with Amy. You can schedule your complimentary call, see what it would be like to work with her and find out more about her and this fabulous journey on this marble as we hurtle through space.
Oh, Mel, you're a doll. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me here. I love and adore you and will scream you at the top of the mountains. You are so profound.
Well, thank you. Thanks again, Lovey. And we'll see you next time on CFG Living Podcast.